Hi everyone, LOCKII Fast Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new collaborative album featuring Iglooghost, Whiston BABii, XYZ. So this is a new collaborative record from an interesting trio of characters. Iglooghost, who in my opinion is one of the most enigmatic producers of this generation, pushing WONKY and pushing UK bass and pushing bubblegum bass and pushing a host of other things to jittery new heights with a very mystical and otherworldly flair. Check out his album Neo Wax Bloom if you haven't already. He also had two very solid EPs drop last year that I liked quite a bit. There's also banger wizard Whiston, who also had a pretty nice record drop last year. He is on Iglooghost's GLOO label. And then there's BABii, vocalist, songwriter, producer, whose solo work admittedly I wasn't all that deep into before this mini album of 9 tracks and 28 minutes. So yes, while there were a few exciting teasers going into this project, I was already excited to listen to it given the names involved. Also to hear how each one of them might maybe break new ground or just do something new and refreshing as a result of just working with another person on a full-length record. But aesthetically, the sound of this project, it's not too far off from what you may have already heard on Iglooghost's 2 recent EPs, both of which make for very beautiful, expansive, busy, almost disorienting electronic music that just sounds like it's from the future, from another planet, from another dimension. In fact, there's a whole narrative, even lore, behind Iglooghost's music that deals in pretty much those things. Whether or not this album adds to that ongoing story, though, I'm not entirely sure. I'm assuming maybe no. But again, aesthetically, I think a lot of the tracks on this record resemble that of the dizzying and mind-expanding compositions that landed on Ghost's last couple of EPs, but with some subtle changes and additions. The bass and the beats certainly go a bit harder. I think having a dedicated vocalist collaborating throughout the entire project certainly brings a refreshing dynamic. So this thing mostly seems like a very subtle fusion of each artist's strengths going into this record. And maybe I could see some disappointment coming out of this album from some listeners if you miss how each artist typically sounds and you don't like the compromises each of them make in order to create these tracks, or maybe you're not thinking that this project is substantive enough, as it is pretty short. And I will admit, there are some tracks on here where it seems like each artist's efforts, they cancel each other out a bit, and the results just lead to a very so-so song. Whether it be on Drown You, where the vocals get really, really, really tedious. I don't care that much for the thin tone. I think they get really repetitive. I mostly feel the same way about the track See Through as well. And the track Lux 2 read to me as if you took a song from Ghost's Clear Teme EP and then threw a bunch of Tonight style banger beats in the background and vocal chops. We do get some truly unique and memorable moments later into the track list though. We have the song LOCKII, which was a great teaser track to this thing. It sounds like a buzzing, raging, explosive Whiston style banger, but with some of the edges smoothed and rounded out with Iglooghost's beautiful, mystical synth passages. Past this point, we have some subtle vocal embellishments from BABii, we have some buzzing, fluttering bass notes. I like the song Mao Shit, but it is a little disorienting at first, and I think it's still a bit disorienting now, even though I'm kind of used to it, because there is a particular sound in the track that sounds like a crying toddler is being sampled. And if you've ever heard like a kid crying before, it may just like get you to look around and is there a child? And look, if that is not the source of this sound, whatever it is, it sounds like something crying, and it's again very distracting and takes me out of the track, even though I think a lot of the progressions and grooves on this one are pretty cool. I found BABIi's singing on TEEF CHIZZEL to be surprisingly beautiful, easily her best performance on the entire record. I loved her weird lyrics, and I loved the gentler musical passages that her voice was housed in and how that contrasted really nicely with these more aggressive beats in other sections. I just wish it were longer. I thought the flat beat and very zany, somewhat obnoxious samples flying in every direction on Barely Twins, all of that was a bit excessive, even though I do generally think the song is pretty fun. And the track Lamb was an incredibly strong teaser turned incredibly strong closer, easily the most robust track of the entire record. Multifaceted, awesome flow. I also loved the kickoff where BABIi's very cute, monotone, rapped vocals set a very interesting tone for the track. However, we do reach a second half of the song where we start getting into some very jittery passages that don't sound too much unlike what Iglooghost was doing on his Neowax Bloom record, but if that similarity doesn't bother you, then you should get through this with a smile on your face. This project doesn't break new ground for anybody involved, I wouldn't say, but I think everyone here complements each other really well on a vast majority of the tracks here. There wasn't really anything on this record that I thought was terrible, just a handful of tracks that I just wanted more from. Still, those moments didn't take away from the cuts here that actually were pretty fantastic, all of which make me look forward to seeing these three cross over more into the future, hopefully on another full-length project that is a bit longer, a bit more ambitious, maybe even a bit riskier. I'm feeling a light 7 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Iglooghost, Whiston BABii, forever.